NET Sports, Nebraska's home for high school sports, is in Grand Island, Nebraska for the 2010 NSAA State High School Volleyball Championships. And good morning, everybody. I'm Larry Putney. Great to have you with us here in Grand Island at the Heartland Event Center, where for the first time in nearly 30 years, the State High School Volleyball Championships moved from Lincoln to Grand Island, and we'll crown 3 state championships this morning. We'll crown 3 state champions later this afternoon. This morning, a couple of teams going after unbeaten seasons, Grand Island Central Catholic as well as Papio South. More on that in a bit, but first, let's talk in general about the state championships moving to Grand Island. It's been a great move, and the city's really done a nice job.
So far, I think everyone is just really having a great time here in Grand Island in this beautiful event center. The kids are excited, the coaches are excited, the fans are turning out, and everyone's excited for a great day of volleyball.
We'll kick things off this morning in Class D2 with a couple of terrific teams, Sterling and Lawrence Nelson. Lawrence Nelson in the south central part of the state, Sterling just a stone's throw away in the southeastern Nebraska. So Lawrence Nelson and Sterling, this is how they got here to the state championships. We'll begin with a look at Lawrence Nelson. They swept their way to the state championships, taking on Stewart and Dodge, knocking off both of those teams, and then Sterling dropping just 1 set on its way to the state championship, knocking over Mullen and Ansley. So that's a look at how those teams got to the Class D2 state championships. This morning, we're going to take a look at maybe one of the best 5'4" players in the state of Nebraska.
Courtney Van Groningen from Sterling. She is dynamic. She is exciting to watch. She's skilled. She passes in the middle of the court, which is a really hard thing to do for a volleyball player. Indicates a lot of ball control. She also plays defense on the left. She digs a lot of balls, and at 5'4", she plays in the middle. Really unusual. She gets a lot of swings yesterday. She had 40 kills in a 4-set match, so She is outstanding.
She'll be fun to watch, taking on Lawrence Nelson. So we'll kick it off this morning. Lawrence Nelson and Sterling going after the Class D2 state championship. It's all coming up next from Grand Island on NET Sports.
Time Warner Cable is dedicated to the future of our nation's children. That's why we've launched our Connect a Million Minds initiative. We're asking adults to help us inspire kids through science, technology, engineering, and math. And we're achieving this through local partnerships with FIRST. Across the country, Time Warner Cable employees are helping bring FIRST robotics competitions to the areas we serve. The future of our nation and our children depends on math, science, and technology. Visit connectamillionminds.com to find out what you can do.
Programming on NET Television is made possible in part by U.S. Bank. Across Nebraska, the nation, and everywhere in between, U.S. Bank provides financial, trust, and investment services to individuals, large corporations, and small businesses. Wherever you go, whether it's in person, on the phone, or on the World Wide Web, you'll find U.S. Bank. You'll find more than 50,000 U.S. bankers, home of the 5-star service guarantee.
Ndamukong Suh is perhaps the best defensive player in the history of Husker football. When you join the NET Sports Partners Club now with your gift of $80, we'll thank you with this limited edition coin that pictures Ndamukong on one side and his long list of accomplishments on the other. Explore all the benefits of the Sports Partners Club today.
Coverage of the NSAA Volleyball Championships is brought to you in part by NPPD, Nebraska Public Power District, applauding the dedication, teamwork, and sportsmanship of Nebraska's high school athletes. By the Nebraska Soybean Board, encouraging the use of renewable biodiesel fuels for a healthier environment. For information, nebraskasoybeans.org. And by Time Warner Cable, inspiring young people to build the skills they need in science, technology, engineering, and math to become the problem solvers of tomorrow. Welcome back to the Heartland Event Center in Grand Island, Nebraska for the Class D2 State Championship in girls volleyball. Remind everybody a copy of today's game is available on DVD for $19.95 plus shipping and handling. To order, just give us a buzz, 800-868-1868, or you can go to netnebraska.org/sports, and please specify the school or the class when you're ordering by phone. The DVD, just $19.95 plus shipping and handling. Save those memories for a lifetime. Now we head to our public address announcer, Steve Lemon.
On behalf of the Nebraska School Activities Association, welcome to the 2010 NSAA Volleyball Championships. The Class D2 final features the Sterling Jets and the Lawrence Nelson Raiders. Now to introduce the teams. First, Sterling. Number 1, Jenna Naveen. Number 2, Courtney Van Groningen. Number 3, Alexa McGill. Number 4, Tara Hesterman. Number 5, Stacia Nielsen. Number 7, Kelsey Heusman. Number 9, Allison Porter. Number 11, Reba Hesterman. Number 12, Nicole Wenzel. Number 14, Marta Bagoni. And number 15, Jordan Lemka. The assistant coach is Teresa Haynes. The head coach, Stan Carr. Now let's meet Lawrence Nelson. Number 1, Bridget Fanning. Number 2, Kenzie Kutra. Number 3, Kelsey Biltoff. Number 4, Lisa Polmeyer. Number 5, Natasha Werman. Number 6, Ashley Bisher. Number 7, Marissa Kovanda. Number 8, Cassandra Fanning. Number 9, Kara Himmelberg. Number 10, Kristen Drudick. Number 11, Laken Lynch. Number 13, Kelsey Himmelberg. Number 14, Brittany Skinner. And number 18, Samantha Berger. The assistant coach is Dina Holting. The head coach, Michelle Harrington. Today's officials are Cheryl Sothoff and Jane Kring. At this time, would you please rise for the presentation of the colors and the singing of our national anthem. The colors are being presented by the Grand Island Senior High School Air Force JROTC. Today's anthem will be sung by Pawnee City High School freshman Carly Cabrera.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Carly Cabrera.
It's all ready to go in Grand Island, Nebraska. Terrific rendition by Carly Cabrera, the freshman from Pawnee City High School, and they're ready for volleyball in Class D2 state championship as the Lawrence Nelson Raiders get set to take on the Sterling Jets. Lawrence Nelson came in the number 4 ranked team according to the Lincoln Journal-Star. Sterling Jets ranked number 3, and we will, Nancy, have a first-time state champion here. Neither one of these teams has ever won a state championship. Not regulars here at the state volleyball championships. Always excited when you see new teams here at state with an opportunity to win it all.
What a fun way to start the day.
Yeah, terrific. And we will get to see, as we said off the top, one of the most exciting players, 5'4" players that you'll ever see in Class D2. Not only did she have 40 kills yesterday in the semifinals, but a total of 61 kills in the 2 games here at state. We're talking about 5'4" Courtney Van Groningen.
And often, she's 5'4", like you said,
yeah.
and often she is facing kids who are 6 feet on the other side of the net,
right,
attempting to block her. Scott Kneifel, Wayne State, is very happy about her signing with him on Wednesday.
Absolutely, and typically you wouldn't see a 5'4" outside hitter going to play Division II. I think that speaks to her athleticism.
She is so athletic. She is so dynamic. She's and just very highly volleyball skilled.
So Van Groningen and her Sterling Jets at 32-2 on the season, taking on Lawrence Nelson. The Raiders coming in at 24-5 overall. Van Groningen, by the way, 600+ kills on the season. Stan Carr, the head coach of the Sterling Jets. Michelle Harrington will lead the Lawrence Nelson Raiders into their first state championship tournament appearance for both of these teams. So underway in Class D2. Set outside, the tip in the middle, and a kill right off the bat, Lemke. So Jordan Lemke starts it off, the 6'2" freshman middle. And Sterling with the early lead here in D2. Bump set back across. Good pass up the middle. The set by Winsel. Swing again by Lemke. Good up. Can't quite get it over. The big presence of Lemke there in the middle. Jordan Lemke again. So 2-0 Sterling on top here in the D2 state championship. 6 state champions crowned today. We'll have 3 in the morning session. And the ace, Reba Hesterman with the ace, the 5'8" senior outside hitter. Came into the state tournament with 43 aces on the season. And pulls one out there, and Sterling out to the quick 3-0 lead. Pass a bit off, bump set, big push back over by Pohlmeyer. Outside, a swing and the kill. Naveen with the kill. And from the right side, the swing and the kill by Lawrence Nelson. Worman with the kill, Natasha Worman. Sorry, make it Himmelberg. That's Kelsey Himmelberg, 5'7" senior middle. And the ace, so look, back comes Lawrence Nelson, the Raiders. The ace there by Himmelberg. There's Kelsey Himmelberg, 5'7" senior middle. 60 kills on the season for Himmelberg. In the middle, Jordan Lemke. So Lemke.
We're getting Lemke involved early. That's a good thing for Sterling.
Get the middles involved, pull that block in, and look out, because then comes Van Groningen, right, Nancy? Outside, the left-handed swing, and a kill by Biltoff. So Kelsey Biltoff, who's had a nice state tournament as well, 10 kills yesterday, and the 6'1" junior with the kill. 5'3" Sterling. Here's Kristen Drudick. Into the net, called on Lawrence Nelson. So the Raiders into the net, and now 6'3" Jets. Here's Jenna Naveen. Natasha Worman. Oh, Natasha Worman, 5'8" senior.
swinging from the right side. She's left-handed, hits cross court, tries to make the setter play the first ball. That's a good game plan.
In the back row, the tip try. Good coverage. Big swing, and you saw Van Groningen going after it. 2 hits called on Lawrence Nelson. Jets out quick, 7-4. Here's Nicole Wenzel, 5'5" junior from Sterling. A left-handed swing just wide.
Man, I thought that got the line just wide on that left-handed swing. That's a good swing, though. She needs to keep swinging at the ball.
Here's Wenzel again. Now 8-4 Sterling, and a service error. So a good run, and 8-5 now. The Jets on top by 3 after coming out on fire, 4 straight points. Lawrence Nelson seems to have settled in a bit now. Built off with the serve. Set by Hesterman. Van Groningen is dug. Left side swing.
Nice job using the outside blocker's hands on that tight set.
Kavanda with the kill, Marissa Kavanda. There's Coach Harrington. 5 state tournament appearances for the Raiders of Lawrence Nelson. Their last trip here to state came back in 2007. Never made a trip into the state tournament championship game. And once again, Lemke is there to put it down.
And she gets excited. That's fun to see. Man, being a freshman, playing in your first state championship, how exciting.
The net, now set back row. Van Groningen dug. Outside, swing from Kavanda. Great up. Middle. Lemke couldn't terminate, but we're going to say that was wide. Okay.
Outside the antenna,
Yeah,
yep.
clearly outside the antenna. Took him a little bit to call it, but the pass return on the other side of the net was outside of the antenna, so it was out of bounds, point to Sterling. 11-5 now. Here's Van Groningen to serve. Deadly serve by Van Groningen as well. Good dig.
Net violation.
Called on the Jets.
This event center is so large, it's hard for servers to get back there. They see the event center just sort of go for miles. It's a hard adjustment for these kids to make serving.
Both ends of the event center are open. So when you're looking at the other end, you're actually seeing a lot further distance.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Lisa Pohlmeyer, the 5'4" senior, to serve. Set from Hesterman, Van Groningen back row. And the swing of the kill by Marissa Kavanda.
Lawrence Nelson is using the middle of that court to kind of confuse Sterling's defenders a little bit, hitting to zone 6.
On the 2-ball, good decision by Drudick. Kristen Drudick with the kill. (11-9). Jets on top. Serve wide. Set number 1 of the 2010 NSAA Volleyball Championships. Alexa McGill now, sophomore, 5'1", to serve for Sterling. Push back and into the net. Called on the Raiders.
Net violation on the follow-through.
4-point Jets lead. Alexa McGill. Left-handed swing long by Biltoff. Outside.
There you go.
Off the hands.
Nice high swing off the hands. Blockers need to turn those hands back into the court so they don't get used.
14-10 Jets. And a lift call.
Sterling struggling a little bit with their ball handling. Need to just kind of settle down, get their platform nice and steady.
Stan Carr, the head coach of the Sterling Jets, came in to this match with just 2 losses on the season and the kill by Naveen. Jenna Naveen with the kill. Into the net, service error.
I think these teams are really just kind of getting used to how much bigger this space is than yesterday at Grand Island Central High, Senior High.
What a good point, Nancy, in that first round was played at 4 different venues: Hastings College, Hastings High School, Grand Island Central Catholic, and here at the Heartland Event Center. Then yesterday they moved to Grand Island Senior High and the Heartland Event Center. And so for these teams, this is their first appearance here in the bigger venue.
This is a very different environment than at Grand Island Senior High.
Off the top of the net. And the kill, Van Groningen. So first kill for Van Groningen. 17-12 and a timeout on the floor.
Van Groningen looks a little tight to me. Looks like she just needs to relax and start swinging.
So 17-12. It took 5 sets to determine a winner in last year's D2 championship between second-ranked Clay Center, the Wildcats, and third-ranked Greeley-Walbach. Here's what happened back in 2009. The D2 championship was either team's to win. After coming all the way to the state capitol, neither team could find a rhythm. There were a total of 88 errors in the match, 39 by Clay Center and the other 49 by Greeley-Walbach. The Titans came away with set 1, 25-19. The Cougars, though, answered back, winning set number 2, 25-18. It appeared that Greeley-Walbach found their groove in set 3 by racing out to a 16-6 lead. However, senior Abigail Sorensen and Sierra Tompkin had other plans. Together, they led a 5-kill rally to steal set number 3, 25-22. The Titans responded by taking set number 4, 25-17. Greeley-Walbach limited their mistakes in the final set to just 3, and that, along with 7 kills and an ace from Skylar Erickson and 4 blocks from Emily Majerus, ultimately led the Titans to the victory. Greeley-Walbach won the final set 15-7 to become the Class D2 state champions. Titans are the Titans of Class D2. So a 5-setter to start things off last year in Class D2. 2 new teams this year in Sterling and Lawrence Nelson. And we are in set number 1.
There's a big swing from lefty.
Biltoff with that kill on the left side.
They earned that side-out point by having her swing on the outside first out of serve receive. Now she moves to the middle.
Kelsey Hoisman into the game, the 5'2" sophomore for Sterling. She'll play back row. Van Groningen out of the back row. Big block on the other side. Van Groningen tries to tip that time. Good coverage. Outside swing. Kohlmeyer can't get it down. Van Groningen again. Now trying to get over that big block.
5'4" going against 6'1" in the middle.
Again, Van Groningen.
That's
A little
a good
different
swing.
spot along the net. Found her opening.
I think the setter kept her off the net a little bit that time and gave her a chance to swing.
You can see the athleticism there from the 5'4" Van Groningen. Naveen with the serve. Left in the middle again, and another kill. Another swing by Kelsey Biltoff, and Biltoff now with 3 kills in the match.
As long as Van Groningen and Biltoft are in the front row, they're just going to go at it against each other.
Biltoff with 23 kills so far in the state tournament, make it 26 after she has 3 today. Van Groningen has now picked up her 3rd kill as well. I think we're going to see those two going at it, not only in the front row, but for the kills lead as well, Van Groningen and Biltoff. Overpass. Outside, good swing. Nice dig. Biltoff couldn't get it down. Van Groningen will try again. Another up.
Lots of digging going on here.
And finally finished off by Marissa Kavanda. Kavanda's second kill here in set number 1.
That's a nice line shot.
Joust at the net and into the net. Called on Lawrence Nelson. Sterling will get the point. Now 20-15, Jets 5 away from taking set number 1. There's Michelle Harrington, head coach of Lawrence Nelson.
That's a good sign. You want to be that first team to 20.
The push is a bit deep, right idea. There's Stan Carr as well, the Sterling Jets head coach. And Groningen into the net. 21-16 now, Sterling 4 away. And busting right through the block was Jordan Lemke. Lemke's third.
She's getting more swings on the ball early, I think, than yesterday when I watched them play. And she's being very effective so far.
And the ace puts them 2 away, 23-16 now. And a timeout called by the Jets. So 23-16, Jets on top. Lawrence Nelson will take a timeout. Coverage of the NSAA Volleyball Championships on NET is brought to you in part by U.S. Bank, committed to customer service through performance, products, and people. U.S. Bank, proud sponsor of high school athletics on NET, member FDIC. By Blue Cross Blue Shield of Nebraska, one less thing to worry about. And by Education Quest Foundation, improving access to college through scholarships and grants and college planning services. So back in Grand Island, the Heartland Events Center for the 2010 NSAA Volleyball Championship. Sterling, the Jets 2 away from taking set number 1 here against the Lawrence Nelson Raiders. Sterling really about midway through the season had to battle through some adversity. They lost one of their starting outside hitters in Marta Bagoni. Bagoni had 51 kills on the year. One of their leaders, a 5'6" senior outside. Bagoni was actually a foreign exchange student who blew out a knee. You go to America for school for a year, you come back with a knee injury.
That stinks.
That really does. So Sterling had to adjust a little bit.
That's a nice dig.
Good save. And just long. Boy, nice rally won by the Raiders. So now 23-17. Here's Kavanda. This little bump set to the outside and just wide on the swing by Naveen. Not a lot she could do with that one.
No, that was a pretty darn tight set. Not a set, actually, a bump pass.
Yeah. We call them bump sets. Is that
bump
okay?
set?
Is that all right?
Yeah.
If you're a setter, it's not, right, Nancy?
That's right.
24.
There's a good swing out of Van Groningen from the back row.
Set point number 1 now for the Jets at 24-18. Reba Hesterman will serve for it. And Hesterman with the ace.
Yep, outside the antenna.
So Reba Hesterman steps to the service line and serves the Jets to set number 1 in the Class D2 State Championship. And they take it 25-18 over the Lawrence Nelson Raiders. So set 1 goes to the Jets. They're on top, looking for their first ever state title.
Power Drive electric car program gives high school students a hands-on way to apply studies, learn about electricity and energy efficiency, and develop skills that will benefit them throughout their lives. Nebraska Public Power District encourages students and teachers to get involved. Schools have the power to make it happen. For information on Power Drive, visit oppd.com or nppd.com.
Hey, college doesn't just happen. There's a few things you need to do to find the school that's the right fit for you.
Yeah, like thinking about your career interests and then researching colleges that fit those interests.
And going to college fairs and talking with college representatives that visit your school.
And most importantly, you should visit the schools that interest you. After all, you wouldn't buy a pair of shoes without trying them on first, would you?
Just a reminder, kids who participate in high school activities tend to go a little farther than those who don't. Take part. Get set for life.
Along with Adrian Fiala, I'm Kevin Kugler, inviting you to join us for the next Big Red Wrap-Up.
Kevin will recap Nebraska's game with Kansas, and their special guest will be former Husker defensive end Jay Moore.
Be with us Tuesday for Big Red Wrap-Up right here on NET, Nebraska's home for sports.
Coverage of the NSAA Volleyball Championships is brought to you in part by NPPD, Nebraska Public Power District, applauding the dedication, teamwork, and sportsmanship of Nebraska's high school athletes. By the Nebraska Soybean Board, encouraging the use of renewable biodiesel fuels for a healthier environment. For information, nebraskasoybeans.org. And by Time Warner Cable, inspiring young people to build the skills they need in science, technology, engineering, and math to become the problem solvers of tomorrow. Welcome back to the Heartland Events Center in Grand Island, Nebraska for the D2 State Volleyball Championship match. Sterling takes set number 1, 25-18. Just a reminder for those friends and family who may not have the ability to get here today to make it to today's game or even see it on NET, they can now watch all the volleyball coverage live on NET's website. Just log on to netnebraska.org/sports and click on the live streaming link. And no matter where they are in the country or the world, they can watch high school volleyball action in Nebraska.
Oh boy.
25-18 was the first, and the Jets start off with the early lead. Jordan Limpkin out to serve. Left-handed swing outside. Boltoff couldn't get it down. Set by Kuchera. And the kill. Lisa Pohlmeyer.
Nice job trying to chase that ball down and bring it back. Just a little too deep.
Out of the back
There's
row.
A big swing.
So Van Groningen loosening up a little bit. Big swing out of the back row by Courtney Van Groningen.
Again, I think her setter is doing a good job keeping her off the net a little bit so she can take that big swing against a bigger block.
And a great job of going around the block as well. You saw the wrist away there to avoid that big block she had in front of her. Serve is long there. We talked about that a little bit in set number 1. Kind of this very large facility, the first time these D2 players have been in it. Takes some adjustment.
Nice swing, nice dig. Coming at again, touch.
So the touch there called. Van Groningen with another kill, and now she is beginning to warm up. 6 kills in the match for Van Groningen, 2 here in set number 2. So look for the Raiders to get their star involved. Just a bit long.
Trying to go cross court, just missed.
Two now, Sterling. Get out of system, kept it alive. Left-handed swing in the middle, and the kill by Biltoff. So Biltoff now with 5.
It was a nice swing. Sterling defender got a hand on it. Couldn't quite keep it on the court.
On the 2 ball. Good job. About all she could do with that ball. And Hesterman took it over on 2. Little tight to the net was the pass. Hesterman recognizing it and putting it over. Set to Limka.
Again, that end line just kind of looks like it goes forever with this big cavernous. I think it's affected some of the kids. I think it's affected their depth perception just a little bit. Still trying to get used to it.
Outside, and the swing is wide.
She made an error, and then they came right back, set her again, and she took another big swing. I like that.
So Jordan Limka, just a freshman at 6'2". That's pushed deep corner. Polmeyer was there. Outside now, off the top of the block, and the kill by Cavanda. So Marissa Cavanda, who had 10 kills in the semis, with their 3rd kill of the match, first here in set number 2. The Raiders back in at just 1 down. Out of the back row, and then Groningen into the net. Stan Carr, his wife, is his assistant coach. Teresa Haynes, a family affair, coaching the Sterling Jets. As Teresa helps keep him in line, she's the one that handles the details. He's been around a while, 400+ wins as a head coach for Stan Carr.
That's impressive.
Tried it on 2, good coverage by Winsor. Nice up, McGill in the back row.
Whoops, a little bit of confusion there. Van Groningen got her hand on it. Nice dig.
Good pass.
Good rally, and out.
Just long. Right idea by Kristen Drudick, who saw the deep corner open. Didn't make it across and then slid across the line. So point to the Jets. Now 8-7 in a tight set number 2.
Back row swing.
Good dig.
Nice dig.
Polmeyer there. Good job to keep it alive. Nice rally. Oh,
That's
what
a
an
great
up.
get.
What an up. Back row, Van Groningen. Dug again. And then out. Great rally by both teams here as the Jets get the point 9-7. Those are the kind of rallies that can provide some momentum.
Both teams good and warmed up now, playing some tough volleyball.
Did you always find, Nancy, as a coach, that when you had those long rallies and you won the big point, it seemed to provide you?
There's nothing more exciting than winning a long rally.
Serve is wide. So the Jets now on top 10-8.
I'm sure both coaches would like them to kind of settle down and just serve a little bit more consistently.
Good swing there by Himmelberg into the game. Try on 2, Limka was there. Outside, Levine, but the block.
Nice double block, went up at the same time, and sealed the net.
Wehrman was there, Natasha Wehrman. Go the other way to the freshman. And Lemke delivers again. Lemke with now 4 kills.
Sterling has a good game plan with moving Lemke around, and she's hitting out of all of the zones. That's something different. I didn't see that so much yesterday.
So 9-12-9 make it. Jets on top by 3. There's Michelle Harrington in her 8th year at Lawrence Nelson. Career record of 159-47. Brings her squad in this year 24-5. Led them to their first ever appearance at state. Block there.
That's a hard ball for a lefty to hit on the outside. If that ball isn't, the setter doesn't push it all the way to the pin, that's real hard for a lefty to get on top of that.
So 13-9, Sterling on top here in set number 2. They won the first set 25-18. Sterling and head coach Stan Carr finishing first in the Pioneer Conference this season. Overall record 32-2, 14-0 against teams in their class. So they have not been beaten this season by a Class D2 team. Well, false confession, faked evidence, a murder mystery from Murdoch, Nebraska. Next week on NET Televisions, it's CSI on trial. How did a murder investigation put 2 innocent men in jail? We sift through confidential documents, listen to court testimony, and speak to people swept up in a stunning true-life crime drama. See what NET News uncovers when investigating a murder becomes a crime. Watch CSI on trial. That's Friday night at 7 and 10 Central on NET1 and NET HD. The roll in the middle. Good pass.
Mixing it up a little bit.
Jets, can they chase it down? Nope.
Biltop gets a kill, standing on the ground. Sends it deep. It worked.
Biltop, a great basketball player as well. In fact, she's a bit undecided on what she will do next year, either play volleyball or basketball. Biltop is just a junior. So I should say in 2 years she's undecided what she'll do in college. Obviously she'll keep playing basketball and volleyball in high school. But she's being looked at by some colleges and having a nice match here in the state championship game. Six kills already for the junior. Swing, and Cavando into the net, so 15-10 now, Jets up by 5. In the middle. And a hand on it, but the kill.
Great idea to go around the edges of the block. That's what you always want your middles to do, your attackers. You want them to hit around the edges of the block. It makes it difficult to defend.
Van Groningen right there with the kill. She now has 7 in the match, and that's an ace. Right on the line. Looked like it might go a bit wide. They let it go, but the ace by Jenna Naveen. A 4-0 run right now by the Jets. Sterling on a roll. Middle, Biltop didn't get it. Van Groningen into the block.
Double block that time. Typically, Lawrence Nelson has only been putting up 1 blocker. They put up 2 and got the job done.
A big block there by the Raiders. Van Groningen again, the solo block, and that time, smart play. Good decision by Van Groningen. 18-11, Sterling by 7. Nicole Wenzel, the junior to serve. Overpass.
Tight pass. Let's see what they can do with it. Big swing just out.
So Biltop a little wide on the swing. And a timeout called once again by Michelle Harrington. So 19-11, the Jets on the run.
Hard to get that ball to fall inbounds when you don't transition. She didn't get a real great approach, but she still took a big swing just out on that last attack.
Lawrence Nelson calls the timeout. Michelle Harrington actually coaches her daughter on the team as well, Taylor, one of the water girls for the team. I want to remind everybody, next week on NET television, the Huskers take the court against Oklahoma at the Nebraska Coliseum in Lincoln. You can catch all of the Big Red volleyball action live Wednesday night at 7 Central on NET Sports, only on NET1 and NET HD. Every match down the stretch crucial for that Husker volleyball team as they remain one game ahead in the standings of the Texas Longhorns.
It's a good sign as the timeouts come to an end. The Raiders hustle back out on the court. They're not walking back. They're running out there. They want to get going. Grab the momentum back.
So looking to slow that Jets run. It's 19-11, the timeout. Let's see what they do. They go to Biltoff out of it. 7 kills now for Biltoff.
Great play out of a timeout. Nice short set.
Always nice when you see a team come out of the timeout, run the play, get the point.
To perfection. That's what they did.
On his swing, touched, and the kill. So back-to-back points by the Raiders out of that timeout. 19-13.
Momentum shift.
Biltoff back to serve. The tip didn't quite clear the net. 3 in a row.
Tried to take it back toward the setter. That tip, Van Groningen tried to take it back toward the setter and just missed.
Van Groningen again, dug. Pushed over, free ball. Let's see what the Jets do. Van Groningen will push it over as well. Van Groningen in the middle, just long. So a great timeout and execution by Lawrence Nelson and Michelle Harrington.
They've certainly found their rhythm, haven't they?
You talked about running back on. They wanted to regain the momentum, and they certainly did that. A 4-0 run by the Raiders. And the Jets this time will take a timeout.
Raiders take a timeout.
Coverage of the NSAA Volleyball Championships on NET is brought to you in part by U.S. Bank, committed to customer service through performance, products, and people. U.S. Bank, proud sponsor of high school athletics on NET, member FDIC. By Blue Cross Blue Shield of Nebraska, one less thing to worry about. And by Education Quest Foundation, improving access to college through scholarships, grants, and college planning services. Back in Grand Island, Nebraska, the 2010 NSAA Volleyball Championships. We are in set number 2. Sterling cruised in set 1, 25-18. Had the big lead here in set number 2 at 19-11. Michelle Harrington took the timeout. And she's very happy that those Raiders have made a 4-0 run. And that's how volleyball around this state has grown and become so popular, is because of those fans at that age seeing the older kids out here on the court and can't wait to be out there themselves.
Wow, that's a crucial call right there, too.
Yeah.
Illegal, serve receive. Another point for the Raiders.
So Stan Carr looks on, look of confusion. And the ace, so back-to-back aces by Biltoff, and now a 6-0 run by the Raiders, who at one point were down 19-11.
Volleyball is a game of momentum. You can see that here.
What a terrific observation you made, that out of that huddle, when Harrington had called the timeout, they ran back onto the court, couldn't wait to regain momentum, and they've certainly done that.
They have. Good for them. That's a good swing behind the setter, tight set. That's just great hustle right there.
Good coverage. Van Groningen again on the solo block. She's dug.
A little bit of confusion there.
Led to a push try, and Van Groningen was there to put it down.
But the Raiders certainly have to feel like they are in this game.
So a 6-0 Raider run finally stopped in the middle.
That's a kill. When the blockers have a net violation, that's a kill for the attacker.
So Himmelberg, Kelsey Himmelberg, the senior middle. 2018. Holmeyer's serve. Goes outside. Himmelberg again off the top of the block. Back-to-back kills by Kelsey Himmelberg.
Nicely done. Taking a nice high swing right off the top of the blockers. That's a great shot.
Another one. All even now at 20. Raiders have come from 8 down to tie it at 20. And another timeout called by Stan Carr.
Coach Carr is probably going to say to his kids, let's regain our composure. Here's the game plan. Here's what we want to do after we get in after the timeout. Let's have some leadership from our seniors. Regain our composure.
Well, tonight at 10:30 on NET television, remind everybody you can enjoy that quirky British humor from across the Atlantic on the Britcoms each week. Your favorite Britcom shows are on Saturday night. And tonight, no exception. Watch as time goes by, 10:30 Central on NET1 and NET HD. All even at 20 in a new set 2. It appeared midway through set number 2 that the Jets were on their way to a 2-0 lead, but the Raiders have come back to make this a match.
Volleyball is a game of momentum, and it's a game where you can never get too comfortable because that momentum shift can happen in a heartbeat.
Serve is long.
That's tough after a timeout.
21-20 now. Jets up by 1. Alexa McGill to serve for the Jets.
Nice pass, tight set. Wow,
got a hand on
a good swing.
Himmelberg not afraid to be aggressive on the tight set. No tip, she gave it a swipe.
Got her hands on and got it to fall. That was an aggressive, gutsy swing.
All even at 21.
Seeing some tight sets here.
Well, Himmelberg very active at the net right now.
She is demanding the ball. There we go, off the top of the block.
She goes high hands, used them. Look at Himmelberg. 5 kills in the match now, 4 here in set number 2. And that presence at the front of the net has been impacted for Lawrence Nelson. And then the serve just long. So they got their first lead of set 2. And it's all even again at 22.
Game to 3 right now.
And in that race to 3, Hesterman will start it off. Outside. That time a little too strong from Himmelberg.
She's still saying, she's still demanding the ball right now. She's talking to her setter, set me.
And she does, behind her.
Yep.
Good dig.
Good swing, great dig.
And the Jets put themselves to within 1 of going up 2 sets to none.
The Jets needed that. Nice swing out of the middle.
The freshman Limka, who certainly is getting some attention from volleyball coaches at the next level. She's just a freshman.
Nice job getting that serve in.
Right inside that back line. Himmelberg, 5th kill in this set, 6th overall.
That was a nice swing.
They survive. Set their first set point. This is the second set point for the Jets.
Have to free ball it over.
Left hand just wide. Biltoff had a spot, was aggressive, which you like to see, just a bit wide.
But definitely going into this third game, Lawrence Nelson has to think, we came back, we fought back, we've got some momentum going. Let's get going. Let's get into this third game.
So the Sterling Jets lead it 2-0 after Lawrence Nelson came all the way back to tie it at 22. They win that race to 3.
Animal agriculture is vital to Nebraska. Livestock production not only contributes to our food supply, but also helps our rural communities. Livestock provides revenue for schools, creates jobs, supports Main Street, and enhances the future for farm families. The Nebraska Soybean Board's Animal Agriculture Initiative works to encourage growth of responsible livestock enterprises to benefit agriculture and Nebraska.
I just wanna be okay, be okay, be okay. I just wanna be okay today. I just wanna be okay, be okay, be okay. I just wanna be okay today. I just wanna feel the day, feel the day, feel the day. I just wanna feel something today. I just wanna be okay, be okay, be okay. I just wanna be okay today.
When you meet with your trusted advisors to review your year-end giving plans, consider naming NET as a charitable beneficiary in your estate plan. Thank you for ensuring that the impact of public television continues for generations to come. For more information, please feel free to call me or visit our website.
On a recent visit to her daughter's house, Oriole shares her famous pie recipe.
Tastes good to me.
As we look back at the history of organ building, there has always been this core of people interested in preserving this tradition.
Nebraska Stories, showcasing our state and the people who call themselves Nebraskans.
Sunday night at 9:30 Central Time on NET1.
Coverage of the NSAA Volleyball Championships is brought to you in part by NPPD, Nebraska Public Power District, applauding the dedication, teamwork, and sportsmanship of Nebraska's high school athletes. By the Nebraska Soybean Board, encouraging the use of renewable biodiesel fuels for a healthier environment. For information, nebraskasoybeans.org. And by Time Warner Cable, inspiring young people to build the skills they need in science, technology, engineering, and math to become the problem solvers of tomorrow. Welcome back to Grand Island. Sterling on top 2-0 over Lawrence Nelson. Along with Nancy Grant Colson, I'm Larry Putney. Let's take a look at stats from the first couple of sets. You see Lawrence Nelson 19 kills to the Jets 17. Other than that, a pretty even match the rest of the way. 3 aces for the Jets, 2 for Lawrence Nelson, a couple blocks on both sides. So those stats might lead you to believe that it's very even, although through 2, it's 2-0 Jets.
And I think if you have been watching Sterling, I think probably would have expected Sterling to have more kills with Van Groningen's numbers this season.
Swing there is long by Himmelberg. And right now, Lawrence Nelson is hoping that they can do the same thing that Sterling did to them in the sub-district final. These two teams have seen each other before. They actually met in the sub-district final in the playoffs. And in that match, Lawrence Nelson led 2-0. And Sterling came back from 2 sets down to win it. And they were down 5-1 in the 5th.
Wow.
And so Sterling has come from behind before, and Lawrence Nelson is right now thinking if they can do it, we can do it right back to him.
Absolutely.
A good swing and a kill there by Drudick. 5'6" senior Drudick.
We'll see if Sterling gets Lemke involved right away here. And they do from behind the setter.
Good coverage. Push deep corner. Good decision. Well, you like those nice heads-up plays.
We used to call that crafty volleyball.
Yeah. I guess it depends on which side of the net.
I guess.
Whether you think it's crafty or not. Oh.
Gets that to take the roll over the tape.
Great job with back to the net to keep that alive off of the tape. Big swing in the middle and the kill by Kelsey Biltoff.
She was able to swing right down the middle. Lemke wasn't in front of her, and a smaller, much smaller blocker, so she just hit the ball straight ahead. Tight pass, tight set. That's about all she could do, and it falls for a kill.
The other thought here is that Courtney Van Groningen has been so dominant here at state with 61 kills. And, Nancy, the last time these two teams played, Van Groningen had 38 kills.
Wow.
You might wonder if maybe Sterling came in thinking we're going to mix it up a little more, and maybe Lawrence Nelson was game planning to stop Van Groningen.
That is what it looks like to me so far. It looks like they have gotten, Lemke especially, more involved in their offense immediately.
Right.
And it's working.
And not that Lemke hasn't been part of the offense, because she has 24 kills in 2 matches here at state. She had 10 in the first round and 14 in the semifinals, but she's certainly much more active than what you had seen yesterday.
She is. Van Groningen took swings from the front and the back row with regularity yesterday.
And that one into the net. 5-4 early here in set number 3. Levine with the serve. Left-handed swing. Biltoff doesn't go.
Swing off the hands, high off the hands. And that's a great swing because Van Groningen's 5'4", Biltoff 6'1". Great idea.
Just touched the top of those hands of Biltoff, and you saw it redirect. Point there to Lawrence Nelson, 6'5" Jets.
Yeah, I think that would have been 4 hits had they tried to touch it. I don't think Biltoff got her hands on that. A little bit of hesitation on Sterling. They need to find their offensive rhythm.
All even at 6.
That's a good pass. Tight set. That is a tough ball.
Biltoff there to put it down. Not much you can do with that one. Good block by Biltoff. And Groningen again, much better set and unloads, but there is Drudick. And that just rolls along the top of the tape and falls on the Jets' side. I believe largest lead of the match by the Raiders at 2. What a swing by Van Groningen.
Nice quick arm swing.
Right down the line, saw line and delivered.
Okay, we'll see here if Raiders can win this side out ball. Setter to the lefty, she goes across court.
Middle, Van Groningen again off top of the tape.
A little bit of a lucky roll there.
11 kills now for Van Groningen, and we're starting to see her be more active here in set 3.
Yeah.
All even at 8.
Nice pass.
Into the net. On the swing and the follow through. Kavanda touched the top of the...
No, they called it the blockers in the net.
Oh, is that what it...
Yep, called the blockers, so that's a kill.
So kill for Kavanda. Point will then go to the Raiders, 9-8. And the ace.
She's had at least 3 aces, hasn't she, this match so far?
Biltoff with another ace. That would be 3 aces on the day for Lawrence Nelson. Nine kills, 2 blocks, 3 aces. You nailed it, Nancy. All 3 from Biltoff.
And there's another one.
Tough serving by the junior middle.
You know, whether she's attacking or serving, the ball just looks different coming out of the left hand.
to Van Groningen, blocked back.
Further again.
Good dig that time.
Nice hustle.
And just wide.
Just missed that corner.
But you can see they are starting to go right to her fairly consistently now. 12-8 Lawrence Nelson. Built off still with that run. And
with emphasis.
Inside the line.
That's a really nice thumb down shot.
Takes it off the shoulder, kept it alive. Good pass.
Back row attack. Got
Got
the
it
tape.
again.
The tape was her friend on that shot.
5 kills for Van Groningen in this set alone. 13 for the match now. She's starting to warm up. We talked early on, it looked like she was a little stiff, not really getting in her rhythm. That's changed a bit now. Swing is wide.
That was the right idea, though. Take that ball over on 2, catch the other team kind of on their heels. Nice idea. I like her aggressiveness.
So a game of runs here. The Raiders with a nice run to open it up. Back come the Jets now within 1.
Those tight sets it's really difficult to do something positive with tight sets like that, especially against a 6'2" blocker.
So Limka on the block puts it down. Net violation called on the Jets.
I think Limka she saw it was going to be another really tight ball, and I think she got a little anxious there.
13-12. Ace. Back line by Polmeyer. Polmeyer came in to state with 64 aces on the year, leading this team.
That's another tough serve. Have to free ball. Sterling has to free ball it over. Let's see what the Raiders do.
Good pass by Polmeyer.
Nice dig.
Good up there, Groningen. And a swing along. So Lawrence Nelson responding with a bit of a run of its own. Up 15-12 now. Polmeyer to serve. Good pass. Outside, and the freshman delivered again. Lemke with the kill.
So a little bit unusual. Serve receive. Sterling kept there outside, swinging on the left. You can see her there. She just splits the block. Goes hard cross court. That's a good shot.
Lemke again, rolls it over.
Oops, that's tough.
Yep, just a bit of traffic there in the middle.
That's what it was.
Rudick couldn't get through.
As a setter, sometimes you just have to say, move.
Yep. And those little things like that frustrating for a coach, as you saw the reaction of Michelle Harrington. Lawrence Nelson, 16-14, so her team trying to come back. Sterling leading it 2-0 here in the Class D2 state championship match between Lawrence Nelson and Sterling. Good tip try, nice coverage. Drudick was there. Drudick was blocked.
And lift.
Yep. 16-15.
Let's watch her hands here. Seals the hands right over the net. That ball goes straight down.
Serve is long.
That is so tough when you get a little bit of momentum, especially off a stuff block, and then you serve it long.
Rolled it over. 3 ball.
Back row.
And Groningen. Left-handed swing, good dig. Lemke into the net.
She was sort of still trying to transition, and the ball was a little bit behind her. That's a tough ball to clear the net.
So with the set, just bumped over. In the middle, Biltoff.
That's a great up.
What a nice play by Hesterman.
Another good up.
On 2.
Lots of net play here. I think it would have been out.
Swing off the top. Good pass. Nice long
Back row
rally
attack.
and wide. Let's look at that dig one more time.
Great hustle.
Reba Hesterman with that.
That's really, and she was running away from her setter. That's a hard ball to dig when you're running away from your setter and you dig it back to the court. Whoops, a little too much. Tried to do a little too much with that ball.
18-17 now. Into the net, an ace.
Setter's probably saying, come on guys, keep me off the net, give me a chance.
Right. So Jordan Lemke with the ace, and she has 7 kills to go with it. And another one. Back-to-back aces by Lemke.
That top spin serve that just dropped right in front of the bro.
And that gives the Jets the lead at 19-18. Left-handed Biltoff got it.
Very hard cross-court shot.
So Kelsey Biltoff evens it back up.
You can see that defender had sucked into the court a little bit. That left sideline wide open. Biltoff nailed it. And out.
Just wide. Long. Tough serve by Drudick. Within inches of catching that back line. 2019 now, Jets on top, 2-0. Both of these teams looking for the school's first ever state volleyball championship, and a big swing to even it back up by Marissa Cavanda.
She doesn't have to, she does, I think it was Biltoff, wasn't it?
You're right.
The lefty.
Yep.
I don't think, she didn't even have to worry about going around the block. She just hit over it. And a serve out of bounds after a point. Both teams have done that.
21-20. Tight set number 3. And Groningen tips it over, kept alive. Good pass. Van Groningen again, got it. Deep corner, Van Groningen.
And she shows some excitement too, that's good. I thought that set was maybe gonna be a little bit low for her, but she found a way to get around Biltoff's hands.
Good timeout called by Michelle Harrington. You certainly don't want to go down 3 and put your opponent 2 away from the match.
Both teams battling here.
So Michelle Harrington talking it over with her Lawrence Nelson Raiders, no doubt reminding them what happened in that, maybe not right now, but they have been reminded what happened in that sub-district final when they had a 2-0 lead and trying to return the favor to the Jets.
You want to come out of that huddle and just have the mindset, I'm going to play every ball to win.
So 22-20. Sterling on top here. Late in set number 3. Sterling leads it 2-0 and looking for the state title.
Sterling's got Van Groningen in the front row for one more rotation. Let's see what they can do with that.
Nicole Winsel now. Outside, off the block, and the kill. That is Cavanda.
I think Sterling was anticipating the ball was going to go behind the setter to Biltoft. Instead, she pushed the ball outside. That's a nice play and a nice kill.
6 kills for Kavanda. Now Biltoft back to serve. Within one, 22-21. Jets need a side out. Van Groningen wide, long.
Yep.
All even at 22 in set number 3.
They're going to move Van Groningen now to swing out of the right side. She's not passing the middle of the court. She's behind. It's going to be behind the setter, and they serve out.
23-22. Jets on top. Now 2 away, and Van Groningen goes to the back to serve. Leads this team in aces. Good swing. Van Groningen chases it down. Free ball it over. Nice aggressive swing by Kavanda. They'll go back to her again. In the middle. Just long. Just long by Himmelberg. Nice aggressive swing. So now for the Sterling Jets.
There it is, you can see it. She just didn't finish. Just didn't snap her wrist enough.
Match point.
Oh, Nicole.
In. What a swing.
That's an aggressive swing on match point.
Gutsy performance by Kavanda. 7 now for Kavanda. It'll be match point number 2 for the Jets. Championship point. Overpass.
Wow.
Kept alive.
Oh, boy.
And it falls all even at 24.
Sterling needs to regroup in a hurry here. They've got a side-out opportunity.
Stan Carr says timeout. Had 2 championship points. 24 all. We're in set number 3.
Game to 2.
NET Sports is on Facebook. Go to facebook.com/NET Sports to get all the latest NET Sports updates. While you're there, comment on our wall, watch highlights from all our live events, see our upcoming schedule, and check out our in-depth background features.
I cried over there last year. Yeah, that was me.
Ironically, the tallest member of the Husker squad.
It's all on facebook.com/NET Sports.
Back at the Heartland Event Center, boy, we're starting off the day with a great one. Sterling and Lawrence Nelson, the Jets on top, 2 sets none, and we are all even at 24 in set number 3. The Jets have come up short on back-to-back championship points. Of course, you must win by 2, so now it's a race to 26. Outside, another kill.
She's been productive.
4 in this set for Kavanda.
And you know, and I like it that the setter said, I'm coming right back to you. Timeout, I'm coming back to you.
So the Jets with another timeout, and now set point for Lawrence Nelson. The Raiders looking to extend the match down 2-0.
Volleyball is all about the serve and the pass. Let's see how let's see how the Raiders serve. Let's see how Sterling responds with the pass.
I want to remind everybody this month on NET television, you can follow the 2006 Husker volleyball team on its journey to winning the 2006 National Championship in front of a sold-out crowd at the Omaha Quest Center. Remember the victory and learn the history behind the nation's premier women's volleyball program as NET television presents Nebraska Volleyball, Dream Like a Champion, Tuesday, November 30th at 8 Central on NET1 and NET HD. It's a terrific story if you haven't had an opportunity to look back at that 2006 run by Nebraska.
Great
terrific.
pass.
Yep.
Nice aggressive swing into the back row.
Set point. Go to the freshman.
That's
they
a
need it.
heck
Got
of a
it.
swing on.
Wow, Limka. Just inside that back line, all even at 25.
Game to 2 again.
Wide.
Side out for point now is for Sterling.
So now the serve of Kavanda, who has been on fire here in set 3. 4 kills by Kavanda, and now set point again for Lawrence Nelson. The tip, the freshman does it again.
That is a heads-up play for a freshman. That's called a money tip. That's a heads-up play. Thumb down money tip.
10 kills by the freshman. And she's excited, all even at 26 now.
Oh boy.
And another service error. Back-to-back service errors by the Jets. So 27-26. Another set point for the Raiders.
Van Groningen's going to swing.
Good pass. We'll go in the middle. Built off. Got it.
Got it.
We're going 4. And now anything can happen in high school volleyball. 2 sets to 1. Sterling on top, but it's Lawrence Nelson with all the momentum, winning set number 3, 28-26.
What inspired me to pursue a career in technology was the fact that I have kids. We need the internet. They wouldn't be able to do any of their research without it. It's really important for children to think science and technology is important. I believe that all kids should look towards technology because that's where the world is going. Get involved in all of the science activities because all of that experience can lead you a long way.
To find out what you can do to inspire a young person, visit connectamillionminds.com.
Always there when the day begins. And we exist to generate your power, deliver it safely, and answer your call. We are always there through snow and storm. We reconnect lives and make things brighter for your family and ours. Nebraska Public Power District, always there when you need us. Together with your local public power utility.
Animal agriculture is vital to Nebraska. Livestock production not only contributes to our food supply, but also helps our rural communities. Livestock provides revenue for schools, creates jobs, supports Main Street, and enhances the future for farm families. The Nebraska Soybean Board's Animal Agriculture Initiative works to encourage growth of responsible livestock enterprises to benefit agriculture and Nebraska.
This is NET Television.
Along with Adrian Fiala, I'm Kevin Kugler, inviting you to join us for the next Big Red Wrap-Up.
Kevin will recap Nebraska's game with Kansas, and their special guest will be former Husker defensive end Jay Moore.
Be with us Tuesday for Big Red Wrap-Up right here on NET, Nebraska's home for sports.
Coverage of the NSAA Volleyball Championships is brought to you in part by NPPD, Nebraska Public Power District, applauding the dedication, teamwork, and sportsmanship of Nebraska's high school athletes. By the Nebraska Soybean Board, encouraging the use of renewable biodiesel fuels for a healthier environment. For information, nebraskasoybeans.org. And by Time Warner Cable, inspiring young people to build the skills they need in science, technology, engineering, and math to become the problem solvers of tomorrow. So we're back in Grand Island, and there you see the Sterling Jets as they go down the tunnel for their team meeting between, they've done this between every game, kind of get away from that hectic nature there behind the bench.
Yeah, I noticed it yesterday at Grand Island Senior High. I noticed it right away that they hustled off the court and went out into the lobby area. I don't know where they found quiet in the lobby area, but they hustled off the court. It's their routine, I guess, and it works.
So serving was the killer there for the Sterling Jets. We heard Coach Stan Carr comment on it between games. A couple of crucial
There's that money
moves.
tip again.
Yep. So Lemko with that kill. Left-handed swing. Kept alive for this match. Lawrence Nelson actually out hitting Sterling. 32 to 28 in kills.
That is some nice hustle.
Great job
play.
to run that down.
And quick. Oops.
Allowed Sterling time to get back into position. Swing by Van Groningen, good dig. Lawrence Nelson also out digging Sterling for the match, 56-49.
Tight ball.
And one by the Raiders.
The 6'1" middle is going to win that ball every time. I guess it was the outside. Good for her.
Drudick. All even at 1 in set 4. Back row Van Groningen powered through. One block up on her and put it down. So Van Groningen now with 15 kills in the match.
She has had to work for every one of those kills too.
She had 6 in set number 3, 4 in each of the first 2 sets, and 1 here in the 4th. So all even at 2 now.
A little bit faster set.
Good dig, free ball. Lawrence Nelson.
Tight, oops.
A little too tight.
Nice dig.
Good up by
wow.
And the block. Big Biltoff, 3 blocks for her. And the 6'1" junior, strong presence.
That's a really nice, disciplined block. She leads with her palms, pushes them over the net.
Kept alive. Got it.
A little short.
Not quite over. Four-2 Raiders here in set number 4. And you can see Lawrence Nelson beginning to get a little bit of that rhythm back.
They are. Yes, I agree.
And the ace. 5-2.
Yeah, those kinds of balls, as a coach, you just want to be your kids. You want your kids to be a little more decisive.
Van Groningen with another kill, 16 now in the match.
She was smart here. She goes against the smaller attacker. Middle, Biltoff, her hands were facing outside, rolled right down in front of her.
Tip try is wide. Kavanda finishing set number 3 very strong was Kavanda. She had 4 kills in set 3. 9 for the match. That one just a bit wide. Biltoff block.
Nice one ball.
There's Kavanda, the 5-4 on the 6-1 with that block. Into the net and out.
At this point in the match, both teams, they've been playing a lot of volleyball. Their legs are getting a little bit fatigued. You have to just really kind of take that into consideration on some of your plays.
Yeah. You saw the nice up there by Nicole Winslow to keep it alive for the Jets. Biltoff is dug, chased down and over. A little tight again, but found a way to get a hand on it.
That's about the only thing she could do with that ball.
13 kills now for Kelsey Biltoff, 6'1" junior middle, and now she serves.
Top spin serve again. Now, I don't think Sterling intended to run.
Right, that's right.
That fake attack, but it worked.
It looked pretty good, that's right. So Kelsey Biltoff, with her 13 kills for Lawrence Nelson, has equaled her best output here at the state tournament. She had 10 in the first round, 13 in the second.
That's what Sterling wants to do, is get Lemke excited again. That ball's coming up, overpass, and she just puts it straight down off the block.
The Jets with a nice run here. Good up. What
that
defense.
Is some great hustle.
Van Groningen got to it. And the blocking out of bounds. You see plays like that and you understand why Lawrence Nelson can be leading in kills and in digs and still down 2 sets to 1.
Yeah, absolutely. And she is not going to quit either. But we've seen this from both teams.
Right.
They just battle. Really good hitter coverage, too.
So Kavanda there with another one.
Kavanda's feeling it.
That's her 10th. So Kavanda now with 10 kills. Right down the line goes the freshman Jordan Limka. Limka with 3 in the set, 13 overall.
That's a great ball. When the setter pushes that ball to the pin like that, you've got line nice and open.
Back row built off. Limka again. No touch wide. Look at low. Marissa Kavanda now back to serve. Kavanda, a senior, second on the team in kills overall with 325 coming into the state tournament. In the middle, Himmelberg.
Yep.
And Himmelberg came in with only 60 kills on the year, and she has 6 here today, including 5 in that big set number 2.
It's important to, oops, just off the mat, a little bit too far. It's important to get Himmelberg back involved, I think, in the Raiders offense.
10-9 now, Lawrence Nelson. Himmelberg got the swing. Good up. Limka. And back over. Good defense by Lawrence Nelson. Limka again. Good decision. Limka, smart tip.
Sterling got that free ball. They ran a fast tempo set. You can see her up early, tips it right, and it's called zone 2. Tips it right to zone 2, and it works.
So all even at 10 now. And another kill by Himmelberg. 2 here in set number 4. And now Himmelberg back to serve. Set goes in the middle. Biltoff tries to
back row attack, makes him run.
Block.
And
Limp gets excited.
There's nothing more fun than blocking a ball straight down off of a good attacker. She's loving that.
All even at 11. And back comes Biltoff.
Biltoff responds. And she's just all business. She's always very composed. Goes up there, takes a bit, the block is a little bit late. She drives the ball.
Biltoff, as we said, with 10 kills against Stewart in Lawrence Nelson's win over Stewart, and 13 kills against Dodge in round number 1, both matches that Lawrence Nelson swept.
Nice deep serve.
Van Groningen.
This is a different play for Van Groningen, too. I did not see that much yesterday at all. They ran Van Groningen. It's called a 3. It's a low, tight pass, or low, tight set. Up quick and swings quick.
And the lefty, Biltoff with another one. We saw a bit of this in set number 1 where Van Groningen and Biltoff were going back and forth.
When the ball is set a little lower, a little faster, you have to jump earlier as a blocker. You have to jump sooner.
Back row, Van Groningen. Oh, great out.
Great reaction.
Way to keep it alive, and the block.
Same play.
Gronigan again, and another block. She'll send it deep. And Gronigan rolls it back over. One of our longer rallies of the afternoon, won by Lawrence Nelson.
When you get tired as a blocker, sometimes lots of rallying going on, it's hard to get up quick and really push those hands over. That's what happened there. Biltoff got the kill.
And you see the blocks there, all even at 4. Lawrence Nelson leading it by 1, 14-13. Into the net. So the Raiders called for being in the net, and that pulls it even to 14. They like to set, it looks like, Nancy, they like to set Van Groningen off the net a little bit. She's not attacking out of the back row, but sometimes it appears that she is because she starts so far back. She's not always up.
She does start far. She transitions about 12, 13 feet off the net.
Right.
But we want to keep her a little bit off the net, too, because she's going against a 6-1 blocker.
Right.
That topspin serve there from Biltoff.
And out. Might have been wide from Van Groningen as she pushed it over. So a back and forth set number 4. We saw that at the end of set 3, 28-26, won by Lawrence Nelson.
I see both teams, they just kind of keep grinding away.
And the ace by Van Groningen.
That's a nice float serve. See how it kind of changes direction at the last second.
Her second ace of the match. She came into the state tournament with 44 on the year. Oh, good up.
That was another good dig.
Outside.
There we go. There. But Van Groningen does a great job following. Oh, boy. Following her defender.
All even at 16. Just some gutsy play happening right now by both of these teams.
I think it's just going to come down to who can fight through the fatigue.
Swinging wide. Wide by Jordan Limke. Back row. Good job by Poma.
Nice
Another
dig.
good up.
Back row swing.
In, just inside the line. Biltoff with another one.
Himmelberger.
Oh, sorry, you're right.
Or Himmelberg.
Yep.
And she's excited. You saw there how she hit, again, she hit around the edges of the block, caught that sideline. That's a good swing.
So 9 kills for Himmelberg. 18-16, Lawrence Nelson. Well, tomorrow night at 9:30 Central, Nebraska Stories meet with local filmmakers to see clips from the films they submitted for a local filmmakers showcase held recently in Omaha. Plus, you can see a profile on Gene Beatty, craftsman, musician, and pipe organ manufacturer. Also see how Hollywood special effects help create true-to-life battlefield scenes to help Nebraska soldiers prepare for the war. Watch Nebraska Stories. That's tomorrow night at 9:30 Central on NET1 and NET HD. 18-16, timeout called by the Jets.
Was that his first or second timeout? Do you know?
It was his first.
Okay.
Sterling leads it 2-1.
That's a tough ball for the setter to get to. That is a tough ball.
And not much to do with that. Raiders now up by 3. Polmeyer with the serve. Lisa Polmeyer, the 5'4" senior libero, who's done a terrific job back there for Lawrence Nelson. Set, going in the middle.
1 foot takeoff by Lemke.
Good job keeping it alive.
Give her the ball again.
Tip coverage. Both of these teams getting used to the other's attack.
Right.
Seem to be in the right spot. Swing. Boy, neither team getting real attacks.
No.
That could be fatigue.
And it is. I think that's exactly what it is. And fatigue sometimes leads to hesitation.
You saw a lot of just pushing the deep ball there, trying to keep it in play. 19-17.
That's a good up. But let's see, it hits the pin, called it out of bounds.
So into the antenna and out.
The coaches are just telling their, you know, this ball, let's pass this ball, take care of the ball. You want your kids to ball handle, that's important. And that's breaking down a little bit.
Yep. So into the game for Lawrence Nelson comes Kinsey Kuchera. Kinsey Kuchera in for the Raiders. Kinsey's a junior setter. 2 hits called on Sterling. So the Raiders now 4 away from evening this and sending our first championship match of the day to a 5th and deciding set.
You want your team, Sterling needs to find their offensive rhythm here. Whoops, and they get room the point on the missed serve. For Sterling, I think Coach Carr just needs to keep reminding his team, we just got to ball handle. We got to stay composed, we got to ball handle.
So here's Reba Hesterman.
For the Raiders, coach is probably thinking we got to just stay aggressive.
Outside and long. No touch by Himmelberg.
She snaps that wrist, that ball lands on that end line. She gets another set like that, snap her wrist.
Make it 22 now, 20.
Those kinds of balls that hit the top of the tape and just kind of drop in, that's frustrating. Back row attack.
And Groningen dug. Middle. Got it. Left-hander built off again.
Lemke's got to jump a little sooner. When it goes off the top of your hands like that, it means you're jumping late as a blocker.
16 kills for Biltoft. And 2 away. Blocked. Biltoft again. 4 blocks. As the junior Kelsey Biltoft is stepping up here in set number 4.
I think Coach Carr is going to say probably not the best decision to set our outside there, who's 5'2" in this case. In their rotation, she's 5'2", going against a 6'1" middle. Probably need to look at a better option to run our first offense out of serve receive.
So Lawrence Nelson, Raiders feeling it a little bit. 24-20 they lead here in set number 3. Make it 4. 2 sets to 1. Advantage Sterling. But since those two, Lawrence Nelson has been battling the entire way. Great set 3.
Lawrence Nelson runs back out onto the court. Sterling looks fatigued to me. More fatigued than Lawrence Nelson.
So a reminder to email us at sports@netnebraska.org and tell us why NET sports coverage of the high school volleyball championships are important to you. Love to hear from you. So again, email us at sports@netnebraska.org. Set point. Back row, Van Groningen. Got it.
Nice swing out of the back row.
19 now for Van Groningen.
Out of a couple rallies, they set the middle, then they go back row. It works.
Tip. Good coverage. And it's wide.
Wide and long, yes.
So 24-22 now. Set point, Lawrence Nelson once again.
That's an ace.
What an ace. Lemka.
She looks completely unfazed by that. Just catches, top spin, just catches that deep zone 5.
Third set point now for Lawrence Nelson.
Nice dig by Lemka. Oh, it's out.
Got it.
That's out. Wow. What a game.
17 kills for Biltoff, and look out, here come the Raiders. They have pulled even at 2 sets apiece, and we are going to a 5th. A state championship on the line for Sterling or Lawrence Nelson.
You know, many years ago when I was about 8 years old, I got the opportunity to watch a box turtle behind my house lay her eggs. And watching that turtle go through all that effort, it just piqued my curiosity, and I wanted to learn more and read more. My entire job is science. I want children to get connected with science and utilize the technology and the engineering abilities, because each one of us has the ability to change the world.
To find out what you can do to inspire a young person, visit connectamillionminds.com.
Hey, college doesn't just happen. You have to push yourself as you go through high school. Don't be afraid to take classes like Algebra 2, Biology, or a foreign language. They can help raise your ACT score and prepare you for college. I wasn't the smartest kid in high school, but I took the tough classes and I passed. So what are you waiting for? Push yourself over to your counselor's office and sign up for them. They won't be easy, but you'll be glad you did.
NET Sports is on Facebook. Go to facebook.com/NET Sports to get all the latest NET sports updates. While you're there, comment on our wall, watch highlights from all our live events, see our upcoming schedule, and check out our in-depth background features.
I cried over there last year. Yeah, that was me.
Ironically, the tallest member of the Husker squad.
It's all on facebook.com/NET Sports.
With the odds stacked against them, a team puts everything on the line on the biggest stage in collegiate volleyball history. Dream like a champion.
Coming soon to NET1.
Well, could you envision a better way to start the day in the NSAA State High School Volleyball Championships? We are going to a 5th and deciding match in Class D2. Sterling takes sets 1 and 2. Lawrence Nelson screams back, wins the next 2, and now it's a race to 15. NET Sports and Husker Volleyball now online. I want to remind everybody, you can just log on to netnebraska.org/volleyball. And there you'll find the complete broadcast schedule, past game highlights, Husker Volleyball features. Again, that's netnebraska.org/volleyball, where you will find more than just the game. So we talked earlier about these two teams having seen each other before. They squared off in the sub-district final. That was a match in which Sterling trailed 2 sets to none and came back to beat Lawrence Nelson 3-2, 15-12 in the 5th. Well, today, Could the tables be flipped? Sterling came out, won sets 1 and 2. Lawrence Nelson storms back, takes 3 and 4. And here we go to a 5th.
You just kind of want to, remind your kids that's 1 point at a time. In volleyball, we say you have to have a short memory. You make a mistake, next ball. 1 ball at a time, especially a game to 15.
Into the net. Jets called in the net. Point to Lawrence Nelson.
Barely. Yep, but she got it.
Just touched it. Overpass.
Yep, why not?
Biltoft. 18 kills for Kelsey Biltoft. And they get the early lead, 2-0. Well, not only have these two teams seen each other, there are a couple of athletes on the opposite side of the net who've competed against each other. As the kill there, responded by Jordan Lemke. Courtney Van Groningen, who has been outstanding today, 19 kills for Sterling. Van Groningen won the 2009 100 hurdles and 300 hurdles at the state track championship. And across the net, Kristen Drudick was 5th in the 100 hurdles.
Very cool.
So great athletes on both sides of the net here.
Makes competition that much more fun when you know each other on either side of the net. Setter's doing a great job getting the ball to Biltoft right where she needs it.
There's Van Groningen with 19, Biltoft with 19. And way back in set number 1, what did we say? But look out for those two because they will be
their go-to players.
Pounding at it against each other. And that one into the net. Overpass.
Again. It's got to go over. There we go.
Got it. Middle. Biltoft nearly had it. Go to her again. Delivered. Biltoft now with 20. Best output here at state, 20 kills.
So they set the ball to her just a little bit further away from her middle spot. Give the blocker something different to look at. And that's a heck of a swing.
Wow, Van Groningen delivers.
With over 600 kills, she's just got to trust herself at this point in the match.
So 20 each for Van Groningen and Biltoft. Tip try, good decision, nice coverage. Guess who's getting it? There's no secret there. It's Van Groningen again.
And I like how she goes, her first swing, she did a thumb down. The next swing, she does a thumb up. So it is forcing Biltoft to work darn hard.
Good up. Van Groningen, another one. So Van Groningen continues to pad those numbers. 22 kills now in the match for Courtney Van Groningen. Big block there. Kept alive. Wow. Great decision by Kavanda. The last minute gets a hand on it, punches it over. Sterling not quite ready.
Just this tight net play stuff. Causes some confusion sometimes.
Biltoft, got it.
She's working the edges of the court too. I like that. I like both Van Groningen and Biltoft working the edges of the court.
Double hit on the receive.
You don't see that call very often anymore in volleyball. A lift on serve receive.
Wide into the antenna. 8-6 championship set. Match is tied at 2.
We go back. It's built up. Nice swing down the line. Boy.
Oh, great job.
That's out.
But long. Oh, what a play. And she wanted it. You can see the smile on the face. One more look.
Yeah.
Oh.
I thought they were going to call the first ball down. Nice block. Number 7
another one.
Didn't quite get off the net to take an aggressive approach. Hit it in the net.
All even at 8. A 3-0 run right now for the Jets. They trailed 8-5. Now 8-8. State championship going to be decided here down the stretch by who makes plays. And there's one of them right there. 22 kills now for Kelsey Biltoft.
One-on-one against a 5'4" blocker. Van Groningen needs some help from her back row diggers.
Got it back over. And the kill, Himmelberg. So Himmelberg rotates into the front and delivers her 10th kill.
I don't think that was an accident that she dumped the ball to the donut. She saw that Sterling's been having a little bit of trouble with the middle part of the court.
Back-to-back points now by Lawrence Nelson. Overpass. Himmelberg got it. 11 for Himmelberg and a 3-point lead for the Raiders and a timeout by head coach Stan Carr. Yep.
Van Groningen is encouraging her teammates to can't stop now.
Both teams with 3-0 runs. 11-8. Lawrence Nelson on top. Hey, I want to remind everybody a copy of today's game is available on DVD for just $19.95 plus shipping and handling. You can order it by calling us at 800-868-1868 or go to netnebraska.org/sports. Please be sure when you call to specify what school or class you'd like to see. Great opportunity to save your memories for a lifetime on DVD, the state championship match. Let's take a look at the two big guns going at it. Biltoft and Van Groningen. Big block there by Biltoft. Van Groningen now out of the back row.
Got a kill. Nice pass.
Van Groningen.
That's a great
heavy
swing.
ball. Heavy ball. Both Van Groningen and Biltoft are now in the back row. We have seen they're not afraid to attack Van Groningen out of the back. Oh, what will they do with Ace?
There's, there it is again that the coach is going to implore her players to make a decision, be decisive.
And to think a state championship is going to be decided by just points. Both of these teams have won 2 sets. It's 2-2 here in the 5th. It's going to come down to just the last few. Van Groningen back row.
It's a tough ball to get for the setter.
Kill Van Groningen. 24 now for the senior middle, Courtney Van Groningen.
That's a nice dig. Number 5 gets a nice dig. It's just too tight to the net.
Good up. Well set Van Groningen again.
Yep.
Oh, touch.
Yep, I think it would have landed in, though. I think it would have landed on the line.
So Naveen goes after it aggressively. She tried to pull back at that last second. Might have been on the line.
Oh, boy.
And the ace. Back-to-back points by the Raiders. Break that 11-all tie, and now the Raiders 2 away from the school's first ever state championship. And Coach Stan Carr wants a timeout.
So Sterling had fought back 11-11. This is how volleyball, you can never take a break. Coaches tell their kids, you can never take a mental break, because now here it is, 13-11 Raiders. 2 quick points, momentum shift.
What a battle between these two Class D2 teams.
I think that the coaches are probably telling both of their teams, believe, do what we do in practice. We've been in tough situations before. Go out, play this next ball. Win this next ball.
So we've had a couple of runs here as of late. Sterling went on a 3-0 run to tie it at 11. And now 2 straight points by Lawrence Nelson to lead it 13-11. And Lawrence Nelson now 2 points away from the state championship. Van Groningen.
Oh boy.
Got it.
That's just, I'm telling you, that is gutsy play. She passes the first ball. It's not a great pass. It's popped straight up. Her teammate jumps in, sets it about 13 feet off the net. She takes a swing. That's gutsy.
Van Groningen's kills in the match are at state 21-40 and now 25. And a kill in the front row by Covanda.
Match point.
13 for Covanda. And now for the Raiders. A state championship on the line. Match point, championship point. Good dig, lower they go. Outside. Wide. Must have hit the antenna.
It must have.
So 14-13 now. Second championship point for Lawrence Nelson. Biltoff still in the back?
Yep. Yes. She just passed the ball.
Yep. Outside, good dig.
Yep.
The freshman in the middle, blocked. Kept up, Van Groningen pushes across. Good decision.
Yes.
Keep the ball in play.
That's
the kill!
That's it.
Himmelberg finishes it off. The senior for Lawrence Nelson, and the Raiders have won their first ever state volleyball championship. And a terrific effort by those young ladies from Sterling.
What a way to start our day of volleyball. Every single game was hard fought. Last 3 games, the last 3 sets decided by 2 points each.
So it was indeed a reversal of the sub-district final in which the Jets came back from 2-0 down to win it 3-2, and today it's Lawrence Nelson falling down 2-0 and coming back, winning 3 straight sets and taking home the state championship. Trophy presentation, interviews, it's all coming up next on NET. Lawrence Nelson, your state champs.
Farmers rely on it. Businesses depend on it. Families trust it. It is public power. And at NPPD, we know Nebraskans don't take it for granted. That's why every dollar is reinvested into the system. The power plants, transmission lines, and utility employees that deliver safe and reliable electricity to you. Nebraska Public Power District, always there when you need us, together with your local public power utility.
This isn't Madison Square Garden. These drills probably won't make anyone a #1 draft pick. But these players are practicing for something important. While they work on their jump shots, they're also learning teamwork, discipline, self-confidence, how to deal with wins and losses. Skills that will make them winners long after they leave the court. Support high school activities in your community, because when kids take part, they get set for life.
Ndamukong Suh is perhaps the best defensive player in the history of Husker football. When you join the NET Sports Partners Club now with your gift of $80, we'll thank you with this limited edition coin that pictures Ndamukong on one side and his long list of accomplishments on the other. Explore all the benefits of the Sports Partners Club today.
Coverage of the NSAA Volleyball Championships on NET is brought to you in part by U.S. Bank, committed to customer service through performance, products, and people. U.S. Bank, proud sponsor of high school athletics on NET, member FDIC. By Blue Cross Blue Shield of Nebraska, one less thing to worry about. And by Education Quest Foundation, improving access to college through scholarships and grants and college planning services. Welcome back to the state championships in Grand Island. One final look at that final point, and it was Himmelberg with the tip at match point, and Lawrence Nelson takes home their first ever state volleyball championship. And what a remarkable feeling that is you see Himmelberg surrounded by teammates and cameras, and 15-13, and you look at the way they won all three of those final sets, won by 2 points. 28-26, 25-23, and 15-13. Let's go down to our public address announcer, Steve Lemon, who will introduce us and award the trophies. Steve.
The Nebraska School Activities Association is delighted to have medals and trophies for both of these outstanding teams. Presentations will be made by NSAA board members Max Kroger from Ord and Dr. Dallas Watkins from Dundee County Stratton. Also, U.S. Bank representative Tina Kyle. Here are the awards for Class D2 runner-up, Sterling High School. Will head coach Stan Carr and your assistant please step toward the middle of the court to present the silver medals to each team member. Players, as your name is called, please come forward to receive your medal. Number 1, Jenna Naveen. Number 2, Courtney Van Groningen. Number 3, Alexa McGill. Number 4, Tara Hesterman. Number 5, Stacia Nielsen. Number 7, Kelsey Heusman. Number 9, Allison Porter. Number 11, Reba Hesterman. Number 12, Nicole Wenzel.
Great career.
Number 14, Marta Bogoni. And number 15, Jordan Lemka. All of you are welcome to receive the runner-up trophy for your school. Congratulations, Sterling High School.
Congratulations, Sterling. Could you go over there for pictures as soon as...
And now to the champions. First, head coach Michelle Harrington. We have a special award for you. Now, coach, hand out the gold medals to your championship team members.
Just hang on to it.
Number 1, Bridget Fanning. Number 2, Kenzie Kutra.
Good job, Kenzie.
Number 3, Kelsey Biltoff.
Good job.
Number 4, Lisa Pohlmeyer. Number 5, Natasha Werman.
Good job, Lisa. There you go.
Number 6, Ashley Bisher.
You're a part of it this year, right?
Number 7, Marissa Kovanda. Number 8, Cassandra Fanning.
Good job, Sue. Good job.
Number 9, Kara Himmelberg.
You're a part of it, all right? Let's celebrate.
Number 10, Kristen Drudick. Number 11, Laken Lynch.
Take that. You take that.
Number 13, Kelsey Himmelberg.
BK him. Good job.
Number 14, Brittany Skinner.
Good job.
And number 18, Samantha Berger. And now for these outstanding athletes in their school, here is the 2010 Class D2 State Volleyball Championship Trophy. Congratulations, Lawrence Nelson High School.
Well, congratulations to Lawrence Nelson winning its first ever state championship in volleyball, and in the end it was the balance that got it done for the Raiders. Kelsey Biltoff with 22 kills, Kovanda with 13, Himmelberg with 12. We'll hear from everyone with the state championship when we come back.
A diesel-powered engine on a farm works hard and operates in a grueling environment. Soy biodiesel fuels stand up to the challenge of powering farm equipment, but are also renewable and environmentally responsible as well. The Nebraska Soybean Board is committed to encouraging the use of soy biodiesel to protect the environment and sustain Nebraska's agriculture. The Nebraska Soybean Checkoff, growing opportunity from the ground up.
Always there when the day begins. And we exist to generate your power, deliver it safely, and answer your call. We are always there through snow and storm. We reconnect lives and make things brighter for your family and ours. Nebraska Public Power District, always there when you need us. Together with your local public power utility.
What inspired me to pursue a career in technology was the fact that I have kids. We need the internet. They wouldn't be able to do any of their research without it. It's really important for our children to think science and technology is important. I believe that all kids should look towards technology because that's where the world is going. Get involved in all of the science activities because all of that experience can lead you a long way.
To find out what you can do to inspire a young person, visit connectamillionminds.com.
I just wanna be okay, be okay, be okay. I just wanna be okay today. I just wanna be okay, be okay, be okay. I just wanna be okay today. I just wanna feel the day, feel the day, feel the day. I just wanna feel something today. I just wanna be okay, be okay, be okay. I just wanna be okay today.
When you meet with your trusted advisors to review your year-end giving plans, consider naming NET Television as a charitable beneficiary in your estate plans. Thank you for ensuring that the impact of public television continues for generations to come. For more information on creating a legacy gift in your name, please call me directly or visit our website.
Back in Grand Island, the state championship goes to Lawrence Nelson, which wins it in 5 sets, 15-13 in the 5th. A tight battle. They battled back from a 2-0 deficit to win 3 consecutive and take home the school's first ever state championship. Nancy Grant Colson is with our state champs and their head coach. Let's go down to Nancy.
Hi, I'm here with Coach Harrington. Congratulations on your team, on your school's first ever win, on your team's first ever state volleyball championship. You saw on the film there the pileup at the end when that ball fell down. What was going through your head then?
You know what? This is just a great moment for these girls. I told them that I had dreams this whole year about being here and talking at the end of this game, and I said you can make it come true, and they just worked so hard. You know, we got down and they just didn't give in. You know, we faced them about a week ago, and that's what they did to us. They got down, but they fought back, so we knew it could be done, and they just did the things that they had to do, and they just did not back off, and I'm just so proud of them for that.
So you're down 2-0. What do you say to your girls in between those games?
You know, I told them, I said it was now or never. I said, what do you have to lose? You go for the ball, you go for that hit, you want to play it. I'd rather you be aggressive than not. And they did that, and you know, we kept the ball in play. We had some good serving, especially good serving, I think, that kept them a little off balance. And that was the key, kind of getting back into the match.
Congratulations on a wonderful win for your school and for your team and for your community.
Thank you so much.
Now I'm going to bring in the girls, Coach. Hi, Kelsey. How are you?
I'm good.
Wonderful, wonderful match. Wasn't it exciting?
Oh, yeah. It was very exciting. I was like I couldn't sit in my seat. I was just like, get me back in there.
I see standing next to you, you really are 6'1". Okay, so you go out on the court, and the coach, what's the medal thing? You take a medal off, and coach gives you a medal. What was that all about?
Oh, at the beginning of the week, we had kind of like secret pals, and like we had to give them something every day. And then on the last day, our coach decided she'd put a little something in there for us, and they were little goals, little medals already. And she's like, she was telling us we were already winners in her mind and all this stuff. So it kind of like just took off from there.
That's a cool story, isn't it? Congratulations, you had a great tournament. Great win for your school, first ever state championship. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Okay, we'll bring in your teammate now. Marissa, a senior, how does this feel to win your first ever state championship, Grand Island? You came and got it done.
It feels so good. I mean, they took it from us in the sub-district championship, and we knew it's not over after 2 sets, and we can fight back, and we did it, and I'm so proud of our team. It feels so good.
When you came in after being down 2-0, I noticed that you guys, you ran back out on the court, you were ready to go. What did coach have to say to you when you guys were down 2-0?
Well, she always tells us it's not the best of 2, it's not the best of 3, it's the best of 5. And we've been on the other side of things, and we knew that we could come back and do it, and it feels so good.
You came through at the end with your team. You took swings at the end. It looked like you were confident with every set.
Yeah, you just have to be confident. You can't hold back. You got to know what you're going to do, and you have to go through with it, and that's what you have to do.
Good job for you. State championship.
Thanks.
Okay, next teammate, please. Kelsey's coming in here, got a hold of that state championship trophy. Class. Final.
It was so awesome. I loved it. It was great.
Your team all dig the dog pile after you won. What do you remember? What went through your mind when you got that kill and your team did the dog pile?
Oh, after I did that, my mind was like blank, and I was just screaming. I didn't care about anything else. I was just celebrating as loud as I could. I was so happy.
How's your community how's it gonna be going back to school in this big win?
Everybody's gonna be real excited. I have a feeling this is our first state championship for our school, first state championship appearance for awesome for us. It really is.
What a great win for your team and your community. Congratulations, Kelsey.
Thank you.
Back to you, Larry.
All right. Thanks very much, Nancy. Congratulations to the Lawrence Nelson Raiders winning its first ever